Hello friends, Lee here from Tabletop Oz. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I thought we could hang out and I'll offer you a review of the new Wireless All-Star from Vapvana. The Wireless All-Star is a new wireless ball vape designed for small to moderate size loads, so you're kind of hitting it one and done or two and done style vaping using this All-Star. So what do we have? Number one, I think one of the big differences here is this baller head is made of stainless steel. There's quite a fairly good amount of thermal mass to the actual stainless steel here. Plus then, of course, you have ruby beads inside to hold the heat. Comes with a modular bowl designed for smaller loads. This bowl completely comes apart, which is really nice. You can unscrew this top part, so it makes for really easy cleaning. You can also remove the bottom like this. Mine's a little dirty, and you can switch it up for an 18mm joint if you're using an 18mm water piece. So the idea with this modular bowl, being able to take it apart like this, just makes it super, super easy to keep clean. You also get a banger with a couple of terp pearls in there. This is an auto spin banger with a 10mm joint. They also include the adapter to go from, so that you can put that into a 14mm water piece as well. So, you know, you can use it with basically anything you want. The banger itself, I'm just gonna show you guys up close real quick on this. You see the bottom thickness? Okay, so the way this, particular vaporizer works is it works on a hot hole system, okay? So the side walls and the bottom are all heated in the hole, and you place, you know, whether it be your banger or your baller head into the hot hole to heat it up. Okay. So when the banger sits in the hot hole, it doesn't sit down on the very bottom. So the side walls are being heated and the bottom of the banger is being heated from the side walls. Okay, so if you notice, the bottom of this banger is actually quite thick. So what ends up happening is you heat the side walls, the bottom ends up heating up, but it's not quite the same temperature as the side walls. So it makes for a really nice dabbing experience. You drop your dab in, you don't get that burn if you have it up a little bit high or whatever, because the bottom is a little bit cooler than the sidewalls. The auto spin feature works very well. So then once you get the terp pearl spinning and it starts to deposit the concentrates on the sidewalls, that's where more of your heat is, which is good. That's where you want to vaporize off of anyway, right? Versus off of the bottom. So the hot hole system and having that drop down bottom from the bottom of the banger really creates a nice, really nice concentrate experience provided. Now, this is the key thing, guys. When you're doing wireless like this, when you heat your banger up, you put it in your bong, you drop your dab in, you have a couple of good rips on it, and you're starting to cool that banger down a little bit. So my recommendation when you're using something like this, if you're going to use the banger, which is, you know, it's a good setup. If you're into dry herbs and concentrates and you're looking for an all-in-one kind of a kit, this is actually a pretty great value at $349 US is what it's launching at, right? So this just came out, $349 US. This is definitely, I'm going to say, is a good deal, because if you're into concentrates and dry herbs, this is giving you everything you need, right? Like it's a pretty cool kit, especially for that price point. You know, and then you get your brush and your scoop and things too, right? So, what I was going to say about the banger, is go with small to medium-sized dabs. Don't go with large dabs. You're going to cool the banger down too much. You're going to end up needing to hit it real quick with a torch there, you know, when you're getting toward your last draw or two, if you're going for 5 or 6 draws off of a massive dab. 2-3 draws off of a small to medium dab. Doing this, dropping that banger in the hot hole, it works really quite nicely. So in my opinion, you know, this does a great job with concentrates, and it does a bang up job, honestly, when it comes to dry herbs. What I'm finding with this thing, this particular baller head, I want to bring it in closer now and let you have a look at it, okay? So this is stainless steel. You can see there's a seam here, okay? I'm not going to touch it too much, but this bottom piece will actually unscrew and come right off, okay? There is a lot of thermal mass here. So this is holding all kinds of heat. So when you hit it, like I'm running it at 535 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm getting massively thick thick clouds, just one and done style on 0.1, 0.12 of a gram, and I'm just ripping it. And I'll tell you what, for a stainless steel setup, the flavor on this is actually improved from what I expected. I find it's even a little bit more flavorful than the wired edition is. It's just a slight difference in the baller head. It's funny, when it comes to ball vapes, the tiniest differences can translate into big things. So in this particular case, I'm finding for stainless steel, the flavor is actually beyond what I expected. And even running it in the stainless steel bowl, somewhere along the way, typically stainless steel will mute out flavor, right? That seems to be the difference between titanium and stainless steel. Titanium is where you get all your flavor, maybe not quite as smooth as stainless steel. Stainless steel mutes out the flavor a little bit, and it's a little bit smoother in my opinion, and everybody's going to have an opinion. But in my opinion, it's a little bit smoother than it is when you're going with the titanium. Why? Simply because you're not tasting quite as much of the terpenes, so you don't get as much tickle in the back of the throat with stainless steel, which is true in this case, but I'm still finding the flavor is, for stainless steel, it's a little bit better than I anticipated, that's for sure. Let's get in, and I'm just going to have a Paduke tabletop bong here today that I'm going to run, and let's just have a bowl or two, and I'll show you exactly what to expect when it comes to using this wireless All-Star. One thing I will say about this, and one of the reasons why I typically reach for a wired ball vape over wireless, but this one is kind of changing it for me a little bit. I like wired simply because I really rip on these things pretty hard. When I'm going for it, I'm going for it, right? I'm not always ripping that way, but that's a good portion of my vaping is, one and done, big, long draws, huge rips. I really like that style of vaping. I like to go all the way through into diminishing vapor if I can, so that I know I've basically cashed out what's in front of me. It's just one of those things. It's just kind of the style I developed. And with wireless, what I find is sometimes I draw too much heat off of it. But this has enough thermal mass in the stainless steel that doesn't seem to be happening. So it's becoming a really nice balance for huge one and done style rips. And I have to say, the 25 millimeter hot hole, can't believe I'm going to say this, I really like the hot hole. Things you thought you'd never say on camera, right? Cheers. But you see how I took that all the way through the full range. So from no vapor, pulling the heat in, bringing the temperature up of the dry herb into the vape range, releasing all of the terpenes, and gently going all the way right through the temperature range to the point where we're out of vapor, and we're doing it all in one draw. Don't know if you noticed, my friends, but zero cough whatsoever. Typically when you're doing, those larger one and done style rips, you might get into a little bit of a cough, which I'm typically quite quick to cough to begin with, so I'm normally there right away. It doesn't take me long. I just look at a pile of dry herb I'm about to vape and I begin coughing, right? Like, that's why I put so much time into tabletop bong as well, to really help with that. But I mean, a lot of the times it comes down to the vaporizer, right? So this particular vape, I find very smooth, very easy to go for the larger one and done style without feeling like anything's being compromised. I'll just point this out too. This has a removable handle for anybody who likes the idea of aftermarket handles and stuff like that to make your bowls fancier and all that stuff. Because I mean, that's cool too, right? Like, it's always fun to personalize your stuff versus having it exactly like everybody else. Some people are super into personalization. I get it. I kind of like to customize too. All right, let's rip it again. Cheers. I find personally why I think I started doing the long draw is kind of the same reason I think a lot of people hold in smoke or vapor, right? And the idea is to get more absorption in the lungs, right? Obviously, you want to absorb as much as possible, because the more you absorb, the more affected you're going to be. So I read an article once, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something like after 3 seconds or something, if you're still holding it in, it doesn't do any good. What you've absorbed, you're going to absorb. But then I started thinking about it, and I thought, but if you're inhaling, and the deeper you inhale and the longer you inhale, the further you're filling your lungs, the more pressure you're putting in there. So, you know, what you're breathing in the very beginning, you're absorbing so much of it, right? Like, this is kind of the stoner math I do on things that I'm like, if I can do a longer, bigger draw, I'm probably going to get more high. So I tried it, and it seemed to work. It worked enough that I developed it into a bit of a habit, I suppose. So now I love doing it that way, and I just kind of run with it, and it just makes me happy. So I figure, why change it? Right? That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. So this one totally, for me personally, in this style, it shows up quite nicely. The flavor, for what it is really, I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10 on flavor. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on flavor for a stainless steel ball vape. Maybe a 7 or an 8 compared to titanium. Figured we just hit it one more time since it's so good, right? Cheers. Can't get enough of that. That might be one of the problems with this thing. It's so easy to hit this thing, and you think, oh, I'm just putting in small doses. Next thing you know, you can load up, you know, a number of them back to back and not even notice it. And the next thing you know, you look like this. All right, my friends, that's it. That's what I'm thinking about the wireless All-Star little demo. Until next time, take care.